Sit. Come here. Hey, come. Wait, Dickie. All right. Good morning, everybody. We're just doing the dog shuffle. All right. Coco and Dickie are out of the way. Monday morning. I hope you all had fun. Or maybe you don't care, but we all watched the Super Bowl yesterday. It's my dad's favorite holiday. So today, Monday movement, 30 minutes of just getting our bodies going, getting more acquainted, getting comfortable in your body. Today, I don't know about you guys, but my like low back sacrum area is feeling a little bit sore. So we'll work to address that. I think that can happen to a lot of people. And we'll start there. So today we don't need any props or anything like that. I'll give you a second in case you haven't gotten your mat out. Grab a mat, and we'll get started. Coco wanted to be back with us. Okay, so we're gonna lay down on the ground, Coco. And before you come down, bend your knees, and you can either hold behind your thigh or you can reach forward if you have a little bit more core strength. So I'll show the way behind the thighs. You're just going to start to roll back, hold behind your thighs, and then draw your knees just lightly into your chest. And you'll rock a little side to side, and you're not trying to tug too hard, just a little squeeze towards the chest. And then you'll place your feet on the ground. Your feet will come to the edges of your mat. I'm actually going to scoot over a little bit. So your feet come to the edges of your mat. Hands are out to a T. So your arms are going to go out to a T by your sides. And then you'll inhale and let the knees tip over to the right. So your feet turn onto the edges. And then you'll exhale, draw your knees back to center. You'll take an inhalation and drop your knees over to the left. And then an exhalation back to center. We'll stay here for a few moments. So you're coming into your nice deep breathing, starting to drop into your body, noticing how your body feels. Taking nice deep inhales as your knees tip in one direction, feeling the length across the front of the thighs as you do so. And as you bring the knees back to center and over to the opposite side, notice how it gives a little massage to your sacrum or your low back. A few more times, breathing nice and easy into your body. Coco's giving me lots of kisses. And then back to center. You guys keep going. She's going to bug me until she gets a treat. Hold on. These dogs are spoiled. Okay, so you're tipping your knees back and forth, and you'll do it one more time on each side. And then wherever you are in your rocking of your legs side to side, bring your legs over to the right, and we're going to pause there for a second just to dive a little deeper into this position. So as your knees tip to the right, notice how the left side of your abdominals, the left front of your thigh maybe feels a little length. And then draw attention to your left shoulder and notice if that left shoulder is trying to come along with your body over to the right. And if you can you soften that left shoulder back in opposition away from the knees? Notice how that feels. Maybe you get a stretch across the left arm or chest. Take one more round of breath here, acknowledging, noticing how this feels to have your knees tipped to the right. Shoulders nice and heavy, nice, deep, easy breathing. And then using the exhale to bring your knees back to center. You'll come over to the left now and simply hold your knees to the left. Again, notice how it feels on the right side of your body, your right abdominals, the right front of your hip, your thigh, across the right shoulder. Notice if your right shoulder wants to come along, try to drop that right shoulder back in opposition away from your knees, tipping to the left. And then draw the knees back up to center. One more time. Really easy squeeze into the chest. From here now, place your feet down by your side onto the mat, parallel and hip distance apart. They don't need to be so close that your fingers are touching your heels, especially if you're feeling really congested in this pelvic hip flexor area. You can, in fact, walk your feet a little further away. Push your feet down into the ground, palms come by your sides, roll your shoulders back so your arms are active. Take an inhalation as you prepare. As you exhale, imprint the feet onto the ground and start to tip your sacrum, your pubic bone comes towards your face as you slowly peel and begin to roll your spine off the mat. You're not going your highest. Take an inhale and exhale. Use that exhale to slowly, one bone at a time, release back down. Let your tailbone get totally heavy. We're going to do a few more just baby pelvic curls and tilts, as much as feels good to you. You're going to exhale, scoop, press into your feet, draw the abdominals in, your buttocks turns on, backs of the legs coming upward, palms press down, shoulders back. Take a breath in. And then exhale, keep scooping the pelvis as you slowly lower one bone at a time. We're going to do two more. Take a nice breath in. Exhale, scoop, tilt, imprint the feet, activate the glutes, feel your hamstrings, the backs of your legs turn on. Take an inhale and exhale, roll back down one bone at a time. Last one. Take a breath in. Exhale, scoop and roll. Start to lift the hips, roll the shoulders back. Press into your feet firmly. Inner thighs rotate internally as you lengthen out the front of your thighs. Feet press firmly onto the ground. Start to feel the backs of the legs, the booty turn on as you roll your shoulders back. Take an inhalation. As you exhale, roll slowly back down. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Some people might feel a stretch here. Lift the left thigh if you can. Take your hands, lace them through the left thigh. Keep your right foot very active and start to bring the left thigh towards the chest just gently to feel a stretch in your right glute. If you need a little extra support on this left leg, you could place it on a chair or on a wall. And you're not going for like a level 10 stretch here. You're just looking to feel some action in the outer right glute and hip. Take one more breath here. Little squeeze if that feels good, but be mindful. If you're drawing the knee towards the chest, I don't want your butt to come with. Simon didn't say, right? So we want to keep a nice neutral pelvis where you're hinging at the hip. And then go ahead and switch. Left ankle comes over right knee. Again, release your pelvis nice and neutral. You lift the right thigh. Hands come behind the right thigh, or you can place your foot on a wall, on a chair, and you just gently hinge at the hip. Again, I'm not letting my pelvis collapse and tip. I'm keeping her nice and anchored as I get some space in this outer left hip. Take one more breath in, and then let's switch one more time. Second time, even third is always the best. So draw that right knee into a figure four position. Hands come behind the left thigh. Feet are active, so they're not just drooping around. Feet are active. You're hinging at your left hip as you slowly breathe. And then go ahead and switch. We're gonna go, what did we just do? Left leg over right, flex the ankles, release the tailbone down, pelvis is in a neutral position as you hinge at your right thigh. You might feel a stretch even in your inner thigh for some of us. Everybody's different. And then go ahead and release. Feet come down to the ground one more time. Palms press down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, scoop the pelvis, start to imprint and roll up, rolling the shoulders back. This time, you're going to lift your toes so that your heels are just on the ground. Palms are pressing down, and we'll pulse, activating the glutes. So you're trying to maintain a tilt in the pelvis the whole time you're doing this, firing up the backs of the legs, the glutes. Here we go for 10, 9, little pulses, 8. Shoulders are back, 7. Neck and throat are soft, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to tip the pubic bone towards the face as you curl the pelvis and slowly roll all the way down. Once again, take your feet wide, arms out to the T, and let your knees twist to the right, and then knees twist to the left, and then knees come back to the center, feet planted on the ground, hands come back by the sides. Raise your right leg to tabletop. On an inhalation, you prepare. As you exhale, lower, tap the right foot, abdominals work, and we lift. This is the move. You exhale, lower, and lift. My left foot now is still grounded. I have a connection and a sense of the back of my left leg that we just turned on. So even though the right leg is the only leg that's moving, the whole body is still staying connected as your palms press into the ground, your abdominals engage as you lower the leg. Your left undercarriage of the leg is very active as we do 4, 3 more, lowering and lifting for 3, trying to activate these low abs to come a little bit more out of the hip flexor. Last 2, 1 more, and leave the leg down. Adjust your right foot so it's planted, left foot lifts up. Again, engage gently into this right side. It's stabilizing you. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you sink the low left abs as you hinge at the hip and lift. Lowering, exhale, and inhale to lift. Hey, Coco. Exhale to lower, inhale to lift. Shoulders are back on the mat. Pelvis is nice and stable. She's very anchored. Nothing is moving except for your left leg hinging at the joint. We have 4 more. Breathing in, exhale to lower, 3, and inhale. Last 2. 1 more. Lower the leg down, and then just keep her there. Good job. Take the hands by the sides one more time. Excuse me, Coco. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders back, feet imprint, and exhale, scoop, lift, and roll the hips up. If you're feeling this in your low back, lower down and scoop your hips even more. We want to alleviate the tension and fire up the glutes and the hamstrings. So there's nothing wrong with being low. You definitely don't need to be your highest where your knees are flailing open, your low back is getting cinched, and your pubic bone is dropping. So come into a place that you can sustain. Again, lift the toes up. Your heels are driving down, and we'll tiny pulse the hips for 10, 9. Trying to activate the backs of those legs. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower all the way down. One more time, draw the knees into the chest. Let's come into that figure 4, and we're going to add on this time. So get a little stretch in that figure 4. And then keep the figure 4. Take your foot to the ground and then twist, and that right foot is going to come to the ground as you turn your eyes to the left, right, excuse me. So shoulders are down, right foot is planted in that figure 4 position, taking that twist a little bit deeper. Stay for 1 more round of breath. And then you'll draw it back to the center. Switch, figure four on the left. Give yourself that little squeeze, a nice stretch in the glutes, and then place the right foot down. You keep the figure four as you tip the whole unit, arms out to the T, and you breathe. Exhaling, letting the belly soften into the body. You can gaze over to the left, enjoy the nice twist. Take one more breath in and out. And then draw the knees back to center. Pull the knees into the chest. And we're going to rock and roll up onto your knees. All right, from here, let me scoot this a little back now. Tabletop position. Excuse me, Coco. All right, when we're in a tabletop position, you want your knees under your hips and your wrists over the shoulders, or excuse me, shoulders over the wrists. But I like to give this one tip. If you have sensitive wrists and you feel that your wrists are always having a hard time until you build more strength, bias your shoulders back. So this is taking some pressure off my wrist, and it's totally okay for most of the movements that you're going to do. It's fine. When you bring the shoulder over, it puts more pressure onto that wrist and palm. So if it's too much, just back off. From here, we're going to inhale, cow pose, open the chest. As you exhale, draw those low abs in, tuck the tail, fire up the backs of those legs. We just turned them on. You inhale, open the front of the chest, and exhale. It's about this low half of the body. We can all shove into the upper body, but can you really carve out the space in the low half of the body? Do this a few more times, opening the chest forward. As you exhale, backs of the legs, encourage the C curve, getting length in the low back. Two more. You exhale to curve round into the low abdomen. One more time. Inhale, open chest. And exhale, we round. Tuck the toes like child's pose. Toes pull forward, knees are a little bit apart. Sit the hips back. We've done this move. It's one of my favorites. Left palm comes out like an L, like a push-up position. Right arm forward, and we're going to get a few rotations. Elongate through the right line of your body as you turn your chest towards the left, stacking the nipples, stacking the chest so you're not shortening the left line. You're keeping both lines long. And now we switch. Right arm out to the T. Left arm reaches forward as you elongate the left side of your body and the right. And now one more time each side. Just alternate to the right. And then alternate to the left. Very nice. And then come on to your side. We're going to start to activate the outer hips. So your right elbow comes to your head, left hand on the hip, right. What we don't want to do on these leg lifts is pull from the front of the leg. It's a different move. We're trying to activate from the outer hip. So if you're feeling it towards the front, for you, you might want to bias today and internally rotate your leg even more so that you can really target the back of the leg. We're going to do about 6 more, 5. Elongating through the inner line of the leg as you activate the outer line. Hold the leg into a neutral position. Bend forward, hip height and parallel. Extend back. You inhale, bend, and exhale, extend. As you bend, be mindful of the inner line. We don't want the knee to collapse. And extend. So it's like you're on a perfect little hinge, hinging at the knee, hinging at the hip, squeezing at the glute. You have 3 more. Inhale and exhale. 3. Inhale Exhale, 2. One more. You're going to bend the knee, hold it here. Now click your heels together. You're in a clam position. You lower the left knee and open. Lower the left knee and squeeze to open. So this whole outer line of the left leg really connects to her. Bring your mind's eye right here. And as you lift this knee, feel this outer hip engage and pulling the muscle to the bone as we lift for 4. I'm feeling a burn in my booty for sure. 3. Coco's chasing her tail. 2. Last 1. And knee stack. Press yourself up and let's switch to the other side. I'll scoot back even more. I'm trying to get myself in. Okay, so you're on your left side now. Left hand is to the head. Left knee is bent. Right leg reaches out the top. Your right hand is here to stabilize you. As you tap and lift, tap and lift the leg, whatever the leg can do. And I can already tell my body's tight just laying here on the ground with my head resting on my hand. I feel a little tight. So if that's you too, it's okay. That's why we move and get everything opening. Here we are, lowering and lifting. Remember, you're elongating through the inner thigh. You're working through the outer hip. If you're feeling this more towards the front, you're going to bias more internal rotation. We have about 6 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the neutral. We bend it forward, hip height and parallel. Remember, you're watching this inner front knee. You don't want it to collapse down or lift up. Just nice and neat as you press it back. Inhale, hinge, bend. Exhale, press. We have 8 more. Inhale and exhale, squeeze that leg back. And so now, if you joined me on my meditation on Thursday, we talked about texture. And now let's bring that sense of texture into this movement. So even though you have no weights, you aren't pushing anything, can you feel a sense of texture as you activate the muscles as if you're moving through water? So we're not just flopping the leg, bending it forward and back. You're actually connecting. We have 2 more to the muscles as they engage and move the leg forward and back. Last one, you're going to bend the knee forward. Click those heels together. You inhale, close, and exhale, lift. So why are we working the booty today? When I said my low back was sore, my sacrum, because this will help. If we can activate the glutes so that they can do some of the work instead of my low back holding on, so they can take some of the pressures off the front of my body, hip flexors and muscles in that area, it's really helpful. So this is the why behind that. You have 4 more here. 4. Ooh, my butt is burning. 3. I hope yours is too. 2. It just shows the power of connection. We don't need weights or anything sometimes. And 1. Oh my gosh, go ahead and sit up. Very nice. Okay, so let's do a little bit more low ab activation. Hopefully your outer hips and glutes. My low back is already feeling better. I can tell just by the way that I'm sitting. Oh, Melissa, I didn't see that you joined. Hello to everybody. Kathy, and then Alfalfa Mel. Alfalfa joins me on meditations too, so that's fun. Okay, let's practice our roll down now. This is one of the hardest things in Pilates for people, not because it's such a complex move, but because of tightness in the low back, it's really hard to get that tip, which makes the imprint. So we're gonna try a few together. I'll start so you can see me here. Arms are soft, so the elbows aren't like locked out, right? And the neck is intense. Everything's soft. And from here, we're just going to exhale, sink the upper body, tip the pelvis, and then inhale, lift back up. So you exhale, soften the heart. So to sink the pelvis as it tips, so sink the abs as you tip the pelvis rather, and then inhale, lift up. 5 more. We exhale, soften the abdominals inward as you scoop your pelvis, hollow out your heart, and inhale, lift. We exhale round. The outer length of the arm is reaching like somebody's trying to hold your hands, and we lift. Three more, articulating back, tipping on the back of the pelvic, the butt bones as you inhale, lift. Two more, exhaling and inhale, lift. Last one, you activate those deep abdominal muscles and then inhale, roll up. Let the knees open. Give yourself a little rest, and then we're going to go on. So if you started to feel that in your neck, or if you felt it a little too much in the hip flexors, that's okay. It's just room for practice. We want to soften the neck and the throat. That gives you more bang for your buck and your abs. And then we want to do our best to soften the hip flexors. It's not that we don't ever want them to work. They're just really aggressive, and they really take over all of the time. It's like that person that's so loud in the room. So we're just trying to get them to sometimes quiet down and let some other people join in. All right. So you can either do two options here. You can hold on to the backs of your thighs and continue with this sort of half movement if you like, which is fabulous. Otherwise, you're going to straighten your legs. So legs are straight. You're going to sit right up on your sits bones. Arms are going to come out. Now, let me turn this way so you can see my ankles for a second. Our ankles like to roll out. So if your legs are straight, the name of the game today is, can I roll my inner ankle bones toward each other, lengthen through my feet, and keep them there through the whole roll down? Okay, so that's the game today. If you're holding on to the back of the thighs, that's where you're at too. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, we C curve from the upper body. Start to scoop from your bum. Roll your bum under you a lot as your heels stay heavy. You come all the way down, reach the arms above the head, take a breath in as the arms come back up. And you exhale, start to roll. See, my legs even lifted today too a little bit. Inhale, nice and tall. We're going to try three more. You exhale, scoop, roll, lengthen the sits bones to the heels as you roll down. Take a breath in. Arms come up and then back over the head as you exhale and begin to roll all the way back up. Two more. And don't worry about it being perfect. We're practicing. You scoop, roll, tuck the pelvis, lay your spine all the way down. Take an inhale as the arms come up and start to reach back forward. As you exhale and slowly roll. That one was better for me. Let's do two more, because as everything opens up, it gets better. Two more times. Let's see if I can keep my feet down now on these last two. And that just goes to show some days it's very easy for me. Some days it's harder. And guess what? It has nothing to do with my strength. This is a perfect example to show you that it has to do with tightness. When our muscles are tight and or weak, it causes dysfunction. So this is a perfect example. Okay, guys? So arms are forward. Take an inhale, and we exhale, scoop, lengthen the sits bones towards the heels as you slowly roll down. Arms come up, and then they reach forward as you slowly come back up. Okay, one more time because mine's getting even better each time. You exhale, roll all the way down. I remember in my Pilates training, I thought this would be impossible for me. And then you exhale, carve out the belly, and slowly roll all the way up. Awesome. Okay. So let's come back onto hands and knees. And we'll finish with a few cat cows. But this time we're going to cat cow laterally. So you're going to take left hip to right, to left shoulder. This can be tricky. So it seems simple, but it's actually confusing. And then you're going to take right shoulder to right hip. What are we doing here? We're opening up the side body, which is my favorite. So rib cage through this low waist area, outer hip, couple more on each side. Feels so good. And then from here, we're going to move towards a down dog. If down dog doesn't work for you on the ground, remember, you can always come up and put your hands like on a chair or something. Okay. But for those of us that are going to down dog, palms press down, lift the hips, send them back, heels sink into the ground, and we're going to hold for three breaths. Nice deep inhale through the nose, firm your legs. Outer arm reaches as you push the mat away. Externally rotate your arms so the bicep is rolling up towards the ceiling as your heels reach towards the ground and you firm your legs. Take one more round of breath. Very active posture, down dog. And it's no problem if you're doing it with a chair or a table. Slowly start to walk your hands to your feet. Legs are bent a little if you need to. If they can be straight, please do so. Again, remember to place all the pressure of your foot into the ground. Let your head hang. And just like we rolled, you're going to exhale, scoop the navel, start to sweep the hips as you slowly come all the way up. Roll the shoulders. Take an inhale, chin to chest, drop all the way back down. Let the arms hang, let the head hang. Take one final breath in and then exhale, roll all the way up to stand. And we're done. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you liked Coco running around chasing her tail. Hopefully, your body feels really good. So again, what we learned today is when the low back pelvic area is tight, we want to open through the rib cage, through the lower extremities, the hips, the legs. We want to fire up those glutes, get those deep low abdominals working, and you should be feeling better. I know I am. So I hope you guys had a good little movement today, and I'll see you next Monday morning at 8:30. Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. for guided meditation. Have a fabulous week.